Good morning, my friends. No, it's not this morning. It's night show. And I am not GPSC, as you may have guessed by my less than attractive good looks and no blue bandana. But I am Peace, Love, Music, and I'm here to host the night show. We're not actually going to do a news section tonight because I didn't have time to prepare one for it. I don't want to give you guys the same news as last night. So I'm just going to bring in our guests. We have with us tonight Jack Binswitch. How are you doing, my brother?
Good morning.
You were in spaces all day today, man, weren't you?
Yeah, man. Another day full of spaces. But it's good, man. Like Dave brought up a good point in one of them. You know, we're on the verge of something real big with, X in particular and AI in terms of original content creation. And it kind of, what he said aligns with what I think, in that there's going to be a premium on proof of human content, basically, going forward. Whether that's art, whether that's, articles, whether that's what we do, and so it's good practice, man. I encourage anyone in the ecosystem to get out there and just start talking, man. Just put yourself out there.
Yeah. Plus, there's so much happening in our space. We need multiple platforms to kind of keep covering it all and get it all really angled out. Speaking of covering it all, we have a great friend of both of ours, Rafa, in the house, the dev behind several projects, and he's going to talk to us about some Beefy stuff tonight. What's up, my brother? How are you today?
Good evening, stackers, Bitcoiners, Jack, Peace, Love, Music. Let's go.
Let's go.
How are you guys doing this evening?
I'm doing excellent, man. I'm doing good. I'm feeling great.
He looks like an in-person PFP from that side profile, you know.
A little bit, he
He's
does.
locked in. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's ready to go.
yeah, definitely.
I love the
And-
intro. It was pretty fun.
Yeah,
It's not Giga
Yeah.
and his bandana. It's Peace Love music, fellas.
well, to be honest with you, I kind of just started going into my regular like opening thing on the show. I forgot to turn myself on. I'm making mistakes. Like this is my first time doing it. Want to bring on our brother, another one of our brothers who dropped some great TA knowledge on us earlier today. Crypto Landy, what's up, my man?
What's up, guys? What's up, Peace, Jack, Rafa? It's good to see everybody. Today's been packed with a lot of spaces and streams, and actually a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Having a little bit of fun today. Obviously, it's that day of the year where we get to have a little bit of fun and maybe play some
Art.
jokes.
And chart fart coin for the
Yes.
the Learn TA series with Landy.
Change back handle up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Yeah, I also have BoostX's own crypto dude in the house. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, I didn't realize we were still doing the nightly. I thought
I didn't
GPS
either
Telegraph,
until-
we were going to just say we're chilling this week, but hey, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, we weren't going to. I wasn't really planning on it. Blockface had reached out and asked about doing it, and I said yes. And I said I'll meet you in the studio at 6:45. And I got tied up with a puppy, and I didn't. I'm like, oh my god, it's 7:05. So I came back and I got So I appreciate you guys jumping in. We actually put this together kind of on the fly tonight, and
Nice.
Rafa's half having dinner, and I'm half skipping dinner right now.
I just ate some quesadillas, so I'm fucking good to go. God, those were good.
I got some kind of chicken and stuffed chicken with Grandpa Black's stuffing recipe. Man, anyway. Well, it'll be there when I get done. So, Rafa's eating dinner, and Jack has been Jack and Landy, both of you guys have been in just like you guys have been marathon space and show attending, man. It's like crazy how much there is to cover in the ecosystem right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have time, right? Like if you tried to stay up with everything going on in crypto or just everything going on in stacks, you have a very hard time doing it. It's almost impossible. There's just so much.
That's actually the truth too. Like it's really almost impossible to really like. We're all here doing it, and I still hear about stuff that I completely missed from like a week or two ago that we should know about, but there's just so much you can't. You got to sleep.
It's literally hard to keep up. Like I've been listing tokens and dApps and BoostX, and I'm like, I know about a ton of them. I get a ton of them in there, and they're like, oh crap, I forgot that one too. I'm like, oh no, I forgot that. So it's like getting reminded matters a lot. So keeping your name in the hat, so to speak, keeping your marketing out there matters immensely right now, because like everybody is fleeing the ship like a bunch of freaking rats because they ain't got the stomach for the numbers, and now is the time to basically position yourself to get actually ahead.
Yeah,
Right.
That's true in retail and as well as building.
Yeah, just exactly.
Yeah, man. No, it's fantastic though. There's even going to be there's rumors of some alpha coming from some of your larger players in the ecosystem too. So I mean, between Biddle Battle and all of these different teams that have been creating, you still have the big players in the game that have been delivering. We just had Perpdex drop the other day. Dude, it's wild. We're trading Bitcoin futures with a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin on Bitcoin. Like nobody was talking about this years ago.
Yeah, literal legendary shit happening right now on chain, and people are like, Oh, number not big enough. It's like, fuck the number. Pay attention to the functionality, idiots. Good God.
No, it's 100% true. Landy, how's it going, man? Like, I just imagine you with your self-professed, Billy Gibbons-esque beard and small stature, just sipping on herbal tea spiked with honey and Ricola cough drops because you're just on so many spaces all day.
I heard that factually, it's actually that Billy Gibbons's beard gets called a Landy-esque beard.
Oh shit! Okay,
That's right.
It's true. This is true. Listen, I not too far off. I am in my overstuffed chair, just trying to touch the ground with my feet, as Dave would say. Speaking of which, he just posted that he's going to do a Sunday reset on a Tuesday for vibe coding. And the image that he created for it is he's got a scary accurate image of me sitting in a chair going wee. So, man, I was telling Peace this morning, like I have been putting in work going to spaces. Obviously, I was doing this anyway, and since rocking the Hermetica badge, I've been getting a lot of questions about it, which we kind of touched on a little bit earlier today when Peace was talking about the yield. And one of the cool things is because I have a trading background and I can relate to others who trade perps. And if you've ever traded perps, you understand short and long. You understand that, long pays short, short pays long. And then describing how, USDH actually works when there is Bitcoin minted. When you use Bitcoin to mint USDH, it's essentially locked in a short contract. And that short contract is, short pay long when the market is overly short, but by and large, our markets are most of the time, even in the bear market, long pay short. And the yield generation, one of the things that he had noted was it was for like a day, yield on USDH went to 1%, which is how you knew that there was an absolute ton of shorts in the market, and that would need to change. Well, what changed? Well, we had Bitcoin move back up to $85,000, which means a lot of long interest came into the market and long space shorts. And now that yield is nice and fat again. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's been fun to explain to people. And I've actually had a lot of fun going to like different shows every day, losing my voice by the end of the night when I got to record.
Guys, I will be back in 5 minutes. You guys keep going.
Go ahead.
I got a question for Landy really quick. Hey Landy, what's up with your .eth.sol?
Well, see, as of today, I took my buddy Henoch's advice and I divested all of my Bitcoin. I sold all of my Bitcoin to buy meme coins. I'm now 100% into meme coins. I'm all about the meme coins. There is no more Bitcoin. I've also changed my name to landy.eth.sol. And, today is the day. I just felt like I needed a change. I'm front running Liberation Day by liberating myself of any potential profits in the future.
Yeah, you just gotta own nothing and be happy, I guess, huh?
Yes, I'm unburdened by what has been, as it turns out.
Well, I mean, the good news is when the market picks up, you'll be a billionaire on paper for like a day. March, right?
Yeah, basically. Oh man. No, I mean, look, it was a funny little April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
Mainly because I get razzed on a lot of different spaces about, because I'm a Bitcoin first guy, right? So there's the joke that I hate meme coins on David Gockstein's space in the morning. And at night on Nobu's space for Pump Radio, I'm I'm a Bitcoin maxi, Bitcoin only guy that hates everything else and will only talk about it so that I can highlight how Bitcoin is better. Which, you know, in a lot of respects, there's some truth to this stuff, right? But I definitely don't hate meme coins. Definitely am into
Take a little
alts.
sugar with the poison, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a funny joke. 19% today. Holy shit, Jack. I think we're a little over leveraged on the long side today. Just use Hermetica to gauge sentiment.
I'm like, dude, this is the first stable coin that's an actual indicator. You know, like
I know, right? I was literally just thinking that. It's like, damn, stable has a whole new definition now.
It's been really look. I think, you know, for what Hermetica is building, what Jacob and the team over there are building, is what I've always wanted. And I think I've said this to him directly on one of the spaces. It's what I always wanted and envisioned, because we have a problem with stables where they are being backed by garbage assets known as vectors for fiat, right? And in treasuries and other things. And they might try to, like, you know, hey, we, you know, Tether bought a bunch of Bitcoin. That's actually a risk for them, because it's not being leveraged in the way that something like Bitcoin, the way in which Bitcoin is being leveraged for USDH. So it ends up becoming a possible redemption issue on their side that could provide for massive sell side pressure, as well as, you know, just not being crypto centric. It's the only real crypto centric stablecoin. So, I mean, I'm for it.
You know what I like about it? For those of you who are watching who haven't been in the ecosystem too long, Bitflow, when it first started, they were kind of going to be like a stable swap exchange. That was like the first iteration of Bitflow. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing that they were like, we want our users to have real yield. And this DeFi cycle is going to be the DeFi cycle of real yield. You know, like, it's not going to be 6,000% APY. I mean, we're starting to see some of that, you know, explode and then immediately, you know, dump on Sonic right now. But, like, it's going to be real yield. That's the way forward. And by having things like stables that can generate yield is massive. And it's much more so when you start, you know, then seeing protocols take a flywheels like, you know, USDH has and make it into a whole other aspect of DeFi. And that's going to be part of the evolution of DeFi, I think. And so, you know, like I like to tell people, it's not easy being early. If it was, everyone would do it. If you're paying attention right now, make no mistake about it, you're early. And it's just wild to think what this space is going to look like in the next 2 years, you know. And I anticipate a lot of cool stuff before that. But just 2 years from now, what are we going to be talking about? I think that we're going to see things we can't even conceive of right now as crypto natives.
For sure. I mean, I would not have, you know, before Valar launched the perp decks, I would not have envisioned there being a Bitcoin first perp dex built on stacks, which is basically just a vector for Bitcoin smart contracts, right? I mean, this is not, it inherently survives off of Bitcoin. It lives and dies with Bitcoin, right? And just by its very nature of how the protocol works. And Bitcoin ain't going anywhere. Stacks ain't going anywhere. And now there's a perp dex. And we've got USDH pairs. It's insane.
Yeah.
We've got dexes that are getting funded up. Like, this is, you said it, it's real yield. It's not garbage, right? And you're not going to centralize players for all of your needs in DeFi when DeFi is the narrative going to CeFi players, right? Now you can go to legitimate DeFi players with your Bitcoin. That's insane. Yeah. It's insane. I never thought I'd see the day, yet here we are.
No, it's fantastic right now to be witness to all this. And again, like, I don't make as many spaces as you do outside the ecosystem. I've been making more than usual, and you do see a theme developing, and we already knew this because we talk about it all the time. You see it on a timeline, but you do see how the attitude in crypto is evolving, and how there's more of this idea and understanding that, okay, we need to be building on Bitcoin. We need settlement on Bitcoin. This is becoming not so much a revolutionary idea like it was several years ago, and now it's more of like, okay, you're just at the starting line of what's coming.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it's so early that I know it gets old when we say that, like, hey, we're so early. We have no idea exactly how early we are even now. That's how insane things are. I mean, just at the pace that things are moving now with traditional financial players, in traditional markets now getting heavily involved in crypto, and it's barely scratching the surface. It's kind of insane. Especially if you've been here for multiple cycles, it's even more insane.
Yeah.
And a lot of people left, right? Especially after last cycle. They got washed out. Choke point 2.0 took them right out of the markets. They've been skeptical of them ever since. Maybe they've dabbled here and there, but they haven't gone in the same way as they did last cycle in terms of retail or non-crypto focused investors. And now, we've talked about this before. Now the bigger players are going to come in, buy up the assets, repackage them to resell them with points, right? Whether that's on the management side of things, or whether that's creating different wrap products or different product service offerings for managing this stuff for people. And we're so early that we're talking about how to push the space forward to them still, so that they can have an out from some of these bigger players. And I think that's the next big battle, and we've got a massive lead on them. They got the money, but we got the lead.
I agree with that, and I think that another place where we're really going to shine, because you're a lot of people are starting to talk about, okay, this is going to be app season. So like, I think what we're going to see is a period here where we attract business to DeFi.
Yes.
Business solutions from every aspect of their financials, even to eventually like point of sale terminals, because the point of sale terminals we use every day, they're not equipped to handle cryptographic transactions. There's so much opportunity that's going to be built up around this, and you're right, 100%. We have the head start.
Yeah. And I think that Stacks in particular still has quite an in for those players, because the D apps and the developers and the community here is building with a focus that can be utilized not just by the everyday person and quote unquote retail, but also by mom and pop shops, wealth managers, and institutional investors as well. So I think you're going to see a lot of them come to platforms like this and chains like this in order to facilitate what they want to do in terms of packaging their products, especially when it comes to the yield side of things. So it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
Shall we transition into like first demo of 3 demos? I have 2 for you, and perhaps we can do a Boost X demo.
Yeah, we can definitely run some demos right now, but actually right before we do some demos, I have a quick question for you guys. This is actually really important. Let me get this up here.
You have 50,000 STX and you don't know what to do with it?
More important. So this is you've seen my PFP. I showed you earlier today. We had the side by sides. There's the one with the goatee, and then there's the one with the microphone. Does this do justice? Do you think is this the best of both worlds, or do we need to work on that? What happened? How did I back out of there? There I go. I scrolled. What do you think of this?
All I'm saying, man, is if you're gonna pick the other PFP, you got to shave the goatee. I can
do that because it got reaction last time. Not necessarily good reaction, but it got reaction. So anyway, that was that's all. I was just curious as to what you guys might think about that, and we can absolutely, without further ado, why don't we run I'm interested in seeing. I'm happy to show off BoostX. I've played with it a lot, so I'm familiar with it. I'm happy to do that, but I want to see Rafa. I want you to share and show me Beefy.
Guys, can we sandwich it like the BoostX into like demo 1 and demo 2 of Beefy swap?
Are you needing more time or something?
There's a cooldown period actually, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do demo 2, but I can do first part.
Yeah, man, whatever. Honestly, I can demo whenever.
Let me do first part, then we can switch to you.
Yeah, do your thing.
Wait.
Well, I'll come in and I'll do some BoostX. I'll show everybody how it works. And then
Landy, get some editing software ready because I want to hear some humorous edits between Peace and Rafa talking about beefy things.
By the way, is it normal that when you speak, the music goes louder in your ears?
No, if it's a little loud, I'll turn it down.
Okay, because when you guys speak, I hear it lower, and then when I speak, I hear. Anyhow, should I?
Rafa, tell everyone what Beefy Swap does.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the ancestor of what is going to become the best bridging experience in the Bitcoin space from layer 1 to layer 2. So what I've done here is an order book adaptation of Catamaran swaps. So I simply forked previous Catamaran swap contract, and then I added a layer of, bid, ask, take big, that ask, and submit swap, like an order book a little bit. So for example, here, what you can do is you can see the price of Bitcoin stacks versus Bitcoin. It's around 725 sats for one stacks. And you can, for example, you can create a bid. So a bid would be you buying stacks. So yeah, this is an ancestor of what's going to become a much better bridging experience, but let's just go through it. So when you create a bid, essentially you're signal to the market that you are interested in buying, in this case, a million sats, a million satoshis, and the price for it would be 1,377 stacks. So you can do that, or you can also create an ask offer, which would be the opposite, right? You're selling stacks in this case. So when you're selling stacks, so for example, I'll be selling stacks, 10% above the market price. So 799 sats instead of 725 sats. I don't have much stacks in my wallet. It's pretty dry. But for example, I can sell 2 stacks, and that's the equivalent amount of Bitcoin, 2 times 800 satoshis that I would be asking for. And what it does is I'm going to essentially lock that amount of stacks in the contract, and then anyone can actually take the opposite side of that trade by essentially sending me the Bitcoin and unlocking the stacks. And there's a trick here where you'd be actually depositing a little deposit to sort of penalize you if you don't follow through with the swap. So it's as simple as that. I'm creating a swap here by depositing 2 stacks, and I'm asking, 800 satoshis for it. Yeah, so that is just the first So here it says make ask, so it's processing, so it's broadcasted to the Stacks blockchain, and it's going to say, I'm depositing 2 stacks, and I want, 1,598 sats in exchange for it, and so that's the Bitcoin price for it. And
So it's almost a decentralized OTC trade.
Yes. So this product is probably not going to have like mainstream product market fit, but you can imagine, 2 counterparties that just want to exchange stacks for Bitcoin trustlessly, and they could do it via a smart contract this way. And that's just the first leg. I'm just signaling to the market that I want to sell 2 stacks and receive this much Bitcoin in exchange for it. Yeah. So if I refresh here, you see that my order is now in the order book. It's official, and anybody, except me, of course, I cannot take my own offer, can actually take my offer. So if I go to a different wallet here, I could take the opposite side of that trade. And as I mentioned, in order to reserve that swap, I would have to pay a little deposit. It's around 3% of the stacks that I want to unlock. These numbers are funny numbers, right? 2 stacks is nothing, right? So 2% is 6 cents. So I could decide to take that side I could decide to be on the other side. So let's try.
So it's about 3% though. Looks like it's about 3%.
Exactly, 6 cents of 2 stacks. It's like 2%. So I'm essentially I'm going to reserve the swap. Once it's reserved, now comes in the I think Stacks is pretty quick now, so I think I will be able to see it really quickly in the UI. This is a beta version, so it could be better. It could show you intermediary states, and then there you go. You saw it, right? So here I'm taking the opposite. So I've just deposited 6 cents, so 3%, and now this is where this is where it becomes not very user-friendly, because there is a 6 blocks cooldown period, and that is to avoid having your reservation invalidated, and then you send the Bitcoin, and then you try to unlock stacks, and because of a fork, now you cannot unlock stacks. So yeah, so this product is still very trustless, but there is this sort of hurdle to go through, that now you need to wait for 6 blocks. And actually I have a solution for this, but perhaps in another demo.
Yeah, so let me just run down real quick and let me summarize. I want to put some stacks in, whatever the amount is. I want to trade stacks for Bitcoin. I don't want to go to an exchange. I'd rather do it OTC. I can do it through this platform. I have 1,000 stacks. I want to trade that for whatever Bitcoin, whatever amount of Bitcoin that is. It's going to hold. I have to put 3% or 30 stacks in.
Yes.
To lock in the trade, and then someone comes along and they accept that trade, and I don't come through. I forfeit my 30 stacks.
Yes.
And maybe they came in after. Maybe the price changed dramatically, and they came in after the fact, and it's worth me giving up the 30 stacks rather than executing the deal. So I might that's my 3% potential 3% loss is better than a 4% slippage every day, and
that's an excellent question. Actually, that's an excellent remark. So the 3% was decided based on a statistical study that over a period of 13 blocks, the price of Bitcoin and stacks, you would be better off following through with the swap rather than forfeiting the 3%.
In most cases, most of the time.
Yes. So it cannot be gamed.
I like it. Very interesting.
So on the other side, the most interesting part I want to demo, perhaps in a couple of blocks, is so you see here I have 6 blocks. Here I reserved another swap here, 5 blocks. So I wanted to demo to show you essentially how sending the Bitcoin is going to guarantee that only the person who's reserving the swap is going to be able to unlock the stacks asset, in this case STX, because essentially what we do is we construct a PSBT with the stacks receiver address inside the op return of the Bitcoin, so that it's actually trustless, so nobody can steal the Bitcoin. So if you send the Bitcoin, you reuse that Bitcoin transaction, you use a Clarity Bitcoin library that is going to read and extract the stacks receiver address from the op return, and then actually anyone can unlock the stacks. So an operator could unlock the stacks on behalf of the user, and yeah, the Bitcoin transaction is going to guarantee that that stacks asset is reserved for the person who is sending the Bitcoin. Does it make sense?
To the extent that it can for me, yes. It's a little over my head as far as some of the technical functionality there, but I understand in general. Landy, does that make sense to you, Jack?
Let me show you. So in the near future, what will happen is you won't have to reserve the Bitcoin, the stacks asset. What you'll do is you'll simply send the Bitcoin and unlocks the stacks. So you'll just have like these two and unlocking the stacks will not even be done by you. It will be done by an operator. So that's the future of this product.
An operator, which is actually an agent, an agentic AI operator.
Yeah, so it could be anything, but the thing is you can delegate trust to an operator, because when you're sending the Bitcoin, you are encoding your stacks address inside the Bitcoin transaction in the form of an op return. So an op return is, there's inputs and outputs when you send a Bitcoin transaction. So it's an output with an amount of 0, and then you have a message that's encoded that encodes your stacks receiver address. So it doesn't really matter who unlocks it, because it will unlock it to that encoded stacks receiver address.
Ah, that's it.
Yes.
Very interesting.
And that's what I want to. So you see here, it's reserved, whatever, But now I have to send the Bitcoin, but the UI is telling me, hey, you still have to wait for the cooldown period, because of that thing that I shared about,
It just requires 6 block confirmation before it.
But this will go away as well in the future. Very like I'm talking weeks.
Oh, really? So it's something that
Yeah.
you've kind of figured out. You just got to build it out.
Yeah. So 2 things. Some of the Stacks Core engineers are working on something that's called replayability, and that allows for stackers to know about a stacks block or a stacks tenure that is anchored into a Bitcoin orphan block. So when Bitcoin forks, there's a whole bunch of stacks transactions that need to fork with Bitcoin as well. But stack signers know about these transactions. So some of the core engineers, my understanding, they're working on this bleeding edge technology that allows to replay these transactions. So you wouldn't have to worry about this. That's one thing. And the other thing is you can also trust an operator. Like if you trust an operator to some extent that, hey, there was a fork, I sent you Bitcoin, and now I cannot unlock my stacks as BTC, USDH, whatever stacks asset that you reserved, then you could trust them to, do the right thing and just, because
So
they received your Bitcoin.
The operator is the counterparty.
Yeah, so obviously the first way is better, where you don't need to trust anyone. Where there's the blockchain is going to replay your when you are reserving. Here what happens, I'm reserving the swap, and then I'm sending and unlocking. I think this is showing it better, right? So if I create a swap, I'm locking the asset, and then the counterparty is going to reserve the swap. They pay 3%. The counterparty is going to send the Bitcoin, again with their stacks receiver address embedded in the Bitcoin. And now that Bitcoin address, anyone can use it to essentially unlock the reserved asset, 1,000 stacks, and to refund the potential penalty if they don't follow through with it. Does it make sense?
Yes.
It's almost like signers on a bridge, is what you're describing.
It's trustless. Like it's especially
Yeah.
this is potentially the best UX for bridging through layers. You won't have to wait. Just one Bitcoin transaction, one Stacks transaction, and it's really fast. That's why I want to showcase this to you guys. If we make it on time here, 6 blocks.
Oh,
I would love to show you how this is so fast.
Yeah, listen, we'll that's okay. Let me show off some boost stacks for a minute, and we'll do that. Let me what do I want to do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go. No, I want to go to, yeah, there we go. First of all, I gotta share out the dude's thing. And
Rafa, by the way, that's super sick. Sorry, I was eating some food while you're doing that. So
we're all.
I wanted to make sure that you knew that how badass I thought that was. That's a clean UI for being able to swap between layers is super imperative for basically a user experience, and having obviously the trustlessness is really nice, but the user experience to have that baked in is nice. You know what I'm saying?
You can imagine just like your typical bridge. You connect your wallet, you choose an amount, and then you sign, and then you send your Bitcoin transaction, and that's it. And then you see the second amount. Like what I showed is like,
and this is all
like
because
too complicated, right?
This is all because Stacks can read the Bitcoin blockchain state, right?
So two things, like one, yes, Stacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. This is because, and I can showcase this. You'll understand. Essentially, there's a library that essentially will, from the Bitcoin transaction, will extract all of the Merkle proofs, and then it actually calls the contract and says, hey, yes, this much amount was sent to the Bitcoin receiver, and it also extracts the Stacks receiver, and it says, now unlock from the escrow this Stacks asset to the Stacks receiver.
Oh wow!
And just like, yeah, this can be adapted to be like the best bridge ever. Like, and it's going to wow lots of people for sure.
So I'm just going to demo BoostX right now, and we're having the homie Rafa on the show, and he retweeted the show, and he has a .btc BNS name in his X name. So I am already connected to BoostX. I have downloaded the extension. I use it all the time. I have it with my Leather wallet on X on my Chrome browser. And so I'm in X, and you see this disconnect button that shows that I'm connected to the BoostX. And this little orange rocket ship shows on any post by someone with a .btc or a .stx BNS name. And I can click on that icon. This is actually my testnet wallet, so I don't have a lot of funds. So I have like 1.8 stacks in here, Rafa. So I'm not going to be able to send you much, but I'm going to send you one STX so that you can bump it up to 3 STX on your next demo.
Don't forget your message at the top so he can get that in his little notification, And
I'm going to put, we miss you, GP.
You're sending that to Rafa and tell him.
Yeah.
That's quite generous. It's like $6 in 6 months.
Yeah.
Probably. Possibly more. I mean, who knows? What's cranking out of this ecosystem is bananas. So here I have my transaction. I click confirm. And that's it.
Yeah, people just a heads up to the people watching, he's only sharing his window, so you couldn't see his wallet, but he gets prompted basically to confirm the transaction with his wallet, whether it's Leather or Xverse.
That's right. So, and I have this final screen here. Oh no, that's already. I'm watching the recording on X. I'm like, wait, no, why that's still on there?
So crypto dude, you just updated BoostX, didn't you?
Yeah. So, are you talking about the one that's live for everybody right now, or the one that's still like the one I'm hammering on literally right now, basically?
No, what's coming next? Let's get some alpha.
Get some alpha.
Yeah.
Want the alpha?
We got some alpha from Rafa. Let's get some alpha from you, man.
All right, so we got NFT transfers done, basically. TLDR, make it nice and short for people. You can just as easily as you're, just seen with Peace, clicking the rocket and sending Rafa some STX. You'll do the same thing, click the rocket, and then instead of just going straight into selecting the token you want, you'll actually first select an action, whether or not it's transfer NFTs or transfer tokens. If you want to transfer an NFT, you just select transfer NFT. Then you select from your owned collection, or one of the collections you own, basically. And then you select the corresponding NFT, card, basically, of the one you're wanting to transfer to that recipient. It's all literally the same form, basically. So it's the UX, or the user experience, so to speak, that should be very familiar with everybody that's already using BoostX. And then, we're also adding basically the NFTs tabs to the profile pages. So, laying the foundation for some, on-chain reputation in the form of NFTs and badges and whatnot. So, people will be able to install BoostX and then kind of flaunt and show off and see other people's NFTs on their profile pages. Obviously, we're gonna, have different collections over time, but one of the collections me and GP have been talking about and collaborating on is basically what we call the Cryptonaut collection, which is essentially everybody that is doing the first boost of a specific token, one of the supported tokens, that SIP 10 tokens. It's currently 31 of them. If you send a boost via BoostX, obviously, and
I might have done a couple last night just to kind of block business. Just a couple though. I didn't go crazy.
Yes.
You know what this means, right?
Yeah, it's the race now to do the first boost of a token, basically. So, but if you do the first boost of, like, for example, we'll just say the NOT token. I think that's already maybe been done, but we'll just say STX or SBTC. If you're the first one to send that particular token via a boost to whoever, then you are basically getting yourself put on a reserve, mint. You won't even have to mint it. It's just going to be, obviously yours because you're the first to mint that token, but basically an NFT collection that's, one of ones, all one of ones, and, relative to the first sender of that token, hence the name Cryptonaut. You're venturing into the DeFi on X space, so to speak, being a pioneer.
I might have won a couple with the fine to earn, but it might have been Zenitron. I don't know who sent them first. Some of them, who sent the rewards on BoostX first for some of those early rounds. But it's probably
Peace. Now
Peace is like, no.
Now we need a DeOrganized NFT collection for this express purpose. When someone is onboarded into the ecosystem via DeOrganized, through a special, part of the show or what have you, we BoostX them a DeOrganized NFT, a welcome to Stacks NFT kind of thing.
Bingo, exactly. Now you'll have basically kind of a way to parse off chain all the people you've essentially onboarded that way. There's a lot of interesting.
In the chat, we can reward them with an NFT.
Anyone says
Yeah.
what in the chat? What'd you say?
So anyone that says hi in the chat, like just tell people, say hi in the
Oh,
chat.
yeah.
An NFT. Say hi. You know,
I totally misunderstood what you said. I won't repeat what I thought I heard. So yes, though, basically, exactly. Incentivize participation, and then, also rewarding them for onboarding, rewarding them for events with NFTs rather than just straight tokens, getting your art out there, your collection, growing your community, basically. That's what the whole point of that is. And having a way for the people that show it off on their profile pages goes hand in hand with that, obviously. So
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. It'd be a lot of fun. It encourage. I don't know. Like you said, not only does the show, who was brought in via DeOrganized, but there could be different series NFTs. There's already all these ideas around games, in this space anyway. It's brilliant, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Kudos, crypto dude. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And also, Zero Authority's, reputation for bounties and stuff like that. Those NFTs we can display on right here in X, so that and we can, provide a little link to like specific collections. Obviously, can have a corresponding DApp or whatever, So we want to help use the collections as surface area to help also redirect and help new users discover it. So, like for example, if Rafa comes to my profile page and he sees that I've got an NFT collection that he's never heard of, and it's about a specific DApp, not only could he, appreciate the art right there, but he could also get a little bit of a click through process to find that DApp.
Exposure to the DApp.
Exactly. Explore the ecosystem, basically.
Nice. Very nice, man. That's the thing. We're also very fortunate because there's so many people putting pieces together and bringing these functionalities that kind of make all of the applications stronger just by having all of these different tools within our ecosystem. There's no Bitcoin layer that has this level of functionality. Not close.
No, dude. Look, if this was 2022, you know what we could do on Stacks right now? We could go to Gamma. It still might be called STX NFT. we could get some Alex. We could go to STX Swap. Maybe get some Welsh that was still an abandoned puppy at that point. There wasn't nothing going on. That's about it.
Right.
That's it. And here we're talking about just
Arcadico
light years and just just a few year time period here. Like it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, the development
The next year, wow.
the development of the Stacks ecosystem has been very carefully crafted by a buttload of Giga Brains, and there's been a monumental effort to make sure that the Bitcoin ethos has been core to the whole vision, being able to leverage Bitcoin without changing Bitcoin, obviously, and maximizing its security, very much like, Satoshi said in one of his, old Bitcoin.org, forum posts or whatever, where he's talking about, leveraging the same compute, for a different network, basically. So Stacks is doing basically exactly what Satoshi envisioned. And, everybody that's looking for short-term games, sure, they can play the Gamba game on another chain. But if they're looking for, a solid technology stack, Stacks is literally it.
If they're looking for a short-term gain, they should tune in to today's the early section of today's Learn TA with Landy, because Fartcoin's gonna rip, according to him.
It's gonna literally
No
rip.
pun intended.
It's gonna cut the cheese.
It's got heavy lift potential.
Yeah, and actually, I'm not trying to say don't do that if that's what you're into, you're a speculator or whatever. By all means, go for it. But I've seen lots of people get a little sour grapes when they get wrecked a little bit and kind of get disenfranchised from the whole Web3 and crypto and stuff. So
just for clarity, while I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't buy any meme coin. It was more of an April Fool's gag that we started the show off with a TA on the chart analysis for Fartcoin, which does look like it has some potential, in the short term if you were looking to do some short-term trading, but always do your own research, obviously.
Catch a little bubble, like.
It's
so yeah,
Fartcoin analysis. It's I was gonna say,
malodor.
it rips. It really does. At the end of the day,
And sometimes it's a chart.
Yeah, well, it does have a lot of liquidity, so it's technically a pretty liquid fart coin. So
You don't know what you'll get.
you might not like what you get.
I was, for a little while, I was providing concentrated liquidity via Meteora to that pool for Fartcoin. So it's kind of hilarious.
Giving them the Wheaties.
Yeah, look, I mean, the ass meta of meme coins was kind of the play today. That's what I sold all my Bitcoin for. So 100% back in on the ass meta.
9.9. He went the full 100.
You went back on the ass meta, huh?
Yep.
They call that the full
Went up my own ass with the ass meta.
He's digging deep, folks.
Yep. Yeah, I picked the bottom, as it turns out.
Yeah, we're really all just like 10-year-old boys still.
Yeah,
like you just
You're
don't lose that. I don't care how old you get, you don't lose that.
Yeah.
Every day.
And plus,
whenever I'm getting the news ready for the morning and I'm finding the top 3 gainers in the last 24 hours, like I pray that Fartcoin's not there, so I don't have to say that live and not giggle like a little kid. Fartcoin's one of the top gainers of the last 24 hours. It's happened probably like 5 times in the last 2 months or whatever since it launched. Nuts that it would actually be like that kind of ripping. Crazy. How many confirmations we got, Rafa?
Yeah, we can do it now because I control the protection on the UI, so I just commented the toast message on the cooldown. Otherwise, it's 2 blocks to wait, but I can demo it now.
It's up to you. I was just checking in.
Yeah, let me do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's
or you
do
want to
it.
wait?
You
I
can
mean,
wait.
2 Bitcoin blocks is very variable. Like it could be.
We can give it some more time.
It's okay. I'm sending it to myself anyways here, so and these are very low amounts.
Violation.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, just to show you so see here it's still in cooldown, and that's the reservation of the swap, and that's to avoid that if I send Bitcoin and then there's a fork that invalidates the reservation, I won't be able to unlock stacks, right? So we talked about this, but I can comment that protection. You see, please wait 2 blocks. And as you can see here,
wait to avoid accidentally locking your shit. You're fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, again, if I'm, it's very unlikely there's a fork. First off,
don't say that.
And I'm sending these things to myself, and these are like 1,000 satoshis. So what happens here is I reserve this swap. I paid this 6 cents deposit, again 3%.
Hold on, are you sharing your screen or what's going on here?
Oh, nobody's seeing this?
No, we don't have it. No, we don't have it.
Yeah, you got to reshare your screen. Homie, you're on the wrong window, I think.
All right.
Sorry. I was juggling. Jack saying goodbye. Zenitron, what's up? Zenitron dropped in to the show.
Hey. What up?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Zenitron. Can you guys see it?
Hold on.
No. Well, maybe. I think.
Hold on 1 second. Yep. Uh,
See
no, it's
your.
like
Are you sharing your browser? Or are you sharing your whole screen? Or because I think you're sharing the wrong window if you're sharing your browser.
Window.
It looked like you were sharing the restream.io window instead of your
Entire
YouTube.
screen. Okay, my bad.
is it
Entire
in
screen.
is it in
You don't have to
Chrome?
share the entire screen. Just you can select your specific window if you. There you go.
There we
All
go.
right. So as I said, now there's actually only one block remaining. Sometimes blocks are faster than others. So here I've reserved a swap, meaning that the counterparty already locked the stacks asset. And so I pay 3% of that stacks asset to incentivize me to follow through with the swap. And this is a beta, so there's more blocks than, and if I were to go really in prod, it would be more like 21 blocks. But essentially it's telling me that if I swap, then I'll get my deposit back and the stacks asset, of course. And as you can see, there's a protection here, but since I'm in local, I can comment. And now this is where the magic is going to happen. So what it does is it's going to encrypt the swap ID and the stacks receiver, which is my stacks receiver address that you can see here in the corner, into this op return. So I can copy that and then proceed to wallet. And then this is constructing a PSBT. And I can actually try and find this op return. And this is the script that is encoding my stacks receiver address as well as my swap ID. So you see, that's what I mentioned. The amount is 0 because it's an op return. And I'm sending the receiver this much sats, and then I'm getting the change back to me. And obviously I'm paying some fees as well, right? So total is like essentially what the receiver will get plus 1,000 sats in fees. And yeah, let's do it. So in turn, what happens is like the Clarity contract is going to be able to extract this data here, my stacks receiver address from this thing. So it worked. Yeah, Leather Wallet needs some improvement, but as you can see here, there's the op return. That's the amount I'm paying to the person who locked the stacks amount, who is getting the Bitcoin now. And this is my change from my inputs.
Very cool, man.
And yeah, now this is still telling me it's in cooldown. And now this is waiting for the Bitcoin transaction to confirm. And once it confirms, I don't know if I would have to comment this section as well to be able to show you the second half of it, which is essentially with this confirmed Bitcoin transaction, I'm going to be able to unlock the stacks asset.
Nice.
That's also a good demo, but anyhow, we have to wait one Bitcoin transaction here no matter what, because I've sent Bitcoin, but it is in this block, and this block needs to be anchored. So both the cooldown and the Bitcoin transaction will resolve at the same time, and then I'll just click here, and it essentially will unlock my stacks. But I can show you how a transaction would look like. So here it gives you the trade history. So you can look at the Bitcoin transaction and the stacks transaction, the unlock one. Actually, no, this shows you the. Unfortunately, this shows you the reservation transaction, but I can find one for you somewhere. Let's see. There you go. So you see, so this is the unlock. We're calling the submit swap segwit function in the contract, and it takes that Bitcoin transaction and it's going to cut it down into all of these Merkle proof data. that Clarity is able to, from the Bitcoin transaction, read that, oh, okay, this much Bitcoin was sent to the Bitcoin receiver. That's correct. And now we need to unlock this much Stacks asset to the Stacks receiver address.
Nice.
There you go, guys.
This
So
is
here,
sick.
as soon as this block anchors, you'll see here this will switch into confirm, and this will allow you to unlock. And unlock is just a Stacks transaction. Again, it's like a couple of seconds. So you can imagine in a near future, you'll only have to, mention how much Bitcoin you want to swap for whatever amount of Stacks assets, and then this step 2, you won't even have to do it. Because again, as I mentioned, the Stacks receiver address is anchored in the Bitcoin transaction. And so anybody can call that function, and it's going to unlock the Stacks asset to your Stacks address.
So that would be called when someone completes the other side of the transaction.
Yeah, so what would happen is you send the operator Bitcoin. Inside that Bitcoin, there's your Stacks address, and the unlocking of the Stacks asset is governed by that Bitcoin address, by that Bitcoin transaction, which has the Stacks address. So anyone can call that function to the contract, which has the Stacks asset escrowed, to unlock it to you.
That's super cool, man. Super cool. Really, it's so like Jack said, it's like a cross-chain order book.
Yeah.
This is going to be pretty convenient for being able to go from the L1 to L2 as a user. I like the how this kind of complements implementation with SBTC as well, because now users can kind of hop around from layer 1, layer 2, and accumulate in their token they prefer, and then exit back out if they want, or kind of swap around. There's so much freaking potential for this. It's kind of hard to just wrap in a short sentence, but I love it, dude.
Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Dig it. So
this Bitcoin block for some reason is really slow.
but
we know all about that.
This doesn't it doesn't replace SBTC. SBTC creates also the asset itself.
No, I know. I'm just saying it complements.
Yeah, I know.
Another option within the ecosystem, basically, for people to play with. That's really what it's about. Like, people need more solutions, not less solutions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The cool thing is it's trustless, right?
Exactly.
You could also use it to swap SBTC for BTC and vice versa, though, right? It's not the same as the peg in because it's not minting SBTC. It's just swapping it between.
Getting into the L2 a different way. The way I look at it is like the L1 is like kind of a highway and the L2 is a highway, and you need different on ramps and off ramps between the two, and you don't really want to have everybody take the same exits. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Having multiple exits is beneficial. Having multiple exits and entrance is beneficial for when markets get volatile. You have options. That's not the only function here, but that's a function here.
Yeah, and Fridger has actually UI and an implementation to swap from Bitcoin to SBTC, so I'd like to mention it. And the way it works is you have to know your counterparty in advance. And it's pretty simple. I can connect here, no problem.
You have to know your counterparty in advance.
Versus using like an escrow type of interface, right?
So it's also he doesn't have like the escrow part where you reserve like the swap.
Oh, that's on Catamaran. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And 36
You're
errors.
in his wizardry over here. And Rafa's got his wizardry. Everybody, Xenotron's doing his wizardry.
A
and
bunch of wizards.
Rosar's- yeah, literally. Oh man, I love it.
So he's in beta, so he's limiting it to a very small amount. And yeah, so it starts from the SBTC that is being escrowed in the contract. And actually, I misspoke. You don't need to know counterparty in advance. You escrow the amount of SBTC into the contract, and then it spits out a swap ID that you can share with anyone. And then essentially that person has to send you the Bitcoin to be able to unlock this is an S-Tax asset, right? SBTC. So it's the same process. It's exactly the same process. There's no deposit to incentivize people to not abuse this thing. And I think that in the contract you can
So it's the
specify
same
a
process.
counterparty.
It's basically very, if not the same process, very similar process, just a different input token, essentially, right? Because yours is from STX to, or from BTC to STX, right? And this is, kind of just SBTC and BTC pairing.
I literally forked his contract and I added, all of this shenanigans where you can create a bid, you can create an ask. You can also, in the contract I created, you can also counter an ask, right? So for example, if this is a large amount here, 10,000 stacks, and they're asking for, 15% above market, I can send a counter offer and say, I'll take it for 10%. And that is it's possible too. And I also like in this contract, there's also you can specify your counterparty so that it doesn't even land in the market. It doesn't even land here. Let's say I just want to swap with you, crypto dude. So I would just specify. It's not reflected in the UI because it wasn't a priority, but it's possible.
Specify the recipient basically, and not have to kind of have it indexed.
Yes.
In other words, just because they have awareness of it ahead of time.
Yeah, everything is transparent though, right? It's on the blockchain. But for example, if you are a stacking protocol and you are swapping your Bitcoin to stacks on a centralized exchange or on Simple Swap, and then Simple Swap has a bit of amount of fees. Perhaps you can just, if a Bitcoin stacks miner who receives stacks and they're incentivized to go on the other side, then you guys could match.
Exactly. And this helps open up the permissionless swapping nature, because it's not just trustless, it's also gateless, so to speak, because you're removing kind of the, I don't want to call them gatekeepers because they're not really gatekeepers, but you're lowering the permission level to the fullest extent between the layers, right? That's the goal here, right?
Yeah, this is on chain fully. No KYC, no nothing. It's trustless.
That KY leverages clarity. All right, let's go. Hell yeah, man! This is epic.
For some reason, this is still not anchored. But you can see how the other bridges, if you have to always wait for 6 blocks, here we're just waiting for 1 block, so it's very variable. Sometimes it's really fast, sometimes it's not. But right now we've been waiting for a while, and it's kind of frustrating. So you can imagine
like pre-Nakamoto stacks blockchain's frequency, right? When we were 1-to-1, you're still kind of
going to be a huge improvement, right? It's
instead
of waiting 6 blocks, you just wait 1 block. That's it.
No, this is legendary stuff, man. Most definitely.
Yeah, super cool, man.
You guys should try it if you have the need, obviously. But if you don't, that's fine. But again, you don't have any slippage here in terms of if you're swapping for a large amount and from SBTC to stacks, for example, it's going to be these AMMs are quite large, but if you're a huge whale, maybe doing OTC with someone, this is almost like OTC. It's over the Bitcoin.
That's like
but-
on-chain OTC, basically. Like
Yes, exactly.
yeah, this is legendary shit. I mean, people that are in the trenches should appreciate this for sure. People that are kind of more of the green around the edges, that they probably will have a hard time appreciating the nuance here. But you most definitely are bringing down the I don't know how do I want to say this. You're fucking putting some fucking fire under some players' feet. Let's just put it that way, because you know there's been a lot of value that's going to players that could be going to the users. You know, you know that this is good for the end users. Let's put it that way.
It's a less extractive way to exchange.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it that because everybody needs to get paid for services, and I didn't want to call them extractive. But it's
So
it's
I have,
lowering if you're bringing basically the same service to the user for a cheaper fee, then I mean everybody should be on board with that.
That makes the right. Well, that's what market competition is supposed to do, to get the goods to market profitably, but at the lowest cost and most efficient way possible. Which is, that's what this is doing. It's making it more efficient to do some transactional stuff that costs more money in other places to do.
Yeah,
so,
everybody appreciates the path of least resistance except boomers. You know what I'm saying? They want that. They want the permission, like Jackson.
They want to take a beating to get what they get.
Right.
I like it. I kind of.
You will like this fucking counterparty risking the massive.
But
I love this shit, dude.
I have two options for you guys. I have to go take care of a puppy, take him out for his final walk, get him all settled. It's going to take me about 15 minutes. If you guys want to keep going, I'll be back in 15 minutes. Otherwise, we can wrap. I think this has been great. I'm not trying to cut it short. We've been going for an hour and 20, so we got a lot of stuff in. Rafa, you're always welcome, by the way. Like we're happy to have you on morning, night, anytime you want to come on and show us whatever. Always welcome, brother.
Yeah, I'll have like a retail demo of this pretty soon that could be of interest for the audience. And I haven't demoed the second part. I did show how
more. You guys are also looking for testers, both apps, right? Catamaran and Beefy.
Factory.
You're looking for people to just get on there and try it out.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Poke around on it.
Exactly. I'm just saying I'm going to incorporate a retail version of this inside of Factory, I think, pretty soon. So I'll it'll be very simple, and again, it'll be the best experience for bridging into a layer 2.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, man, it's cool stuff. Absolutely. I'm definitely going to get in there and try it out. I didn't realize I could do it with a lower amount too. I thought it had to be bigger swaps. So I can definitely test it out for a smaller amount. Just throw some stacks transactions, a little bit of Bitcoin in there and stuff like that. Just bounce it around. Be fun to try it out. It's Beefy Swaps what's the address?
Fun.
Beefy Swaps.fun. All right.
I love the name.
Yeah, it's great. There was all right, I gotta take my puppy out, guys. Do you guys want to keep going, or do you want to?
I can call it right here. We can call it from my perspective. I'm fine, unless Zenitron or Shiflet or Landy or Rafa has anything else to say. I'm down to. We've been here for an hour and 20.
I mean, I wanted to
bullshit
demo
for a
this.
little bit if anybody wants to.
Yeah, I can stay because I wanted to demo this. So the step 2 unlocking, which is just a stacks transaction, but it shows you what's doing under the hood actually, because it will print out fetching Bitcoin data, etc. If you want to stay Chiflet, I don't know how long it will take for this
here's
block
what I'll do. I'm gonna go take care of the puppy. I'm gonna leave it running, and if I come back and nobody's here, I'll sign off.
Oh, look! It just went through, guys.
Hey,
Speak of the devil.
Rafa, it's always a pleasure spending time with you,
go-
brother. Don't ever question
Go have
it.
your dog. Go have your dog relieve itself outside instead of inside.
I'll
We'll
be
be
back.
Okay, now my UI, I don't know why it's not picking up, but it should.
Oh no!
Uh,
We're doing it live. Oh no, it burned me.
Yeah, this is calling the mempool API actually. So
This is what's called development, doing it live, folks. You get to see a lot more of this type of action on STX more than anywhere else because because we build in the open. We like to show the users what it takes to kind of work through the little bugs, and he's doing it live right now, and he's waiting for his. I think your UI has probably just got a state issue, right? Probably.
yeah, so I don't know if the data is stale. It's not calling the API, but it should call it every now and then. So yeah.
What API are you using on that for just while we're waiting, just so we can
Just the mempool, but give me a second. I'll just figure that out.
Have you thought? Is there any like WebSocket APIs you could maybe integrate on that for monitoring, so that way it's a little bit more?
Yeah. So first off, I don't like that it doesn't allow me to click. I would rather have it. Would rather allow it to click, even if it's not. If the indicator is telling me it's too soon.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so usually that's what I do, but here I commented something. I don't know what it did, but let me. Let me just.
Yeah, so this is basically what developers have to go through every time they're building their code. They walk it through, put themselves in the driver's seat. Make sure that they're doing their quality testing. Obviously, they have unit testing as well, but from a mental stress point of view, we also like to get in there as the user and walk it through and about 10 dozen times until we feel it's nice and solid, and then have a few users use it at first, make sure they get the same results, slow roll it out there, make sure everything's hunky-dory, keep an eye on things. It's kind of the process from a high point of view. Any luck there?
Oh, it did it by itself. Like, okay, cool.
Hi.
So again, as I said, like it's going to call the mempool API, and perhaps there's a lag there a little bit. But we can see that this is my transaction is just anchored. I don't know why they're putting this upside down. And now
they're doing that because it's April Fool's, and
Oh, okay.
trying to be funny.
Yeah. So now this is the transaction that anybody could call to unlock the stacks to my address here, and it's fetching the Bitcoin data from the library and doing all these Merkle proof from the Bitcoin transaction, which is this number here, right? This thing, and it's also extracting the stacks receiver address from the up return that I showed earlier. And then it's calling submit swap essentially. And again, anybody can call this because it will unlock the stacks to the correct stacks receiver address.
So no foreknowledge required. Basically, just need to know basically the essentially the function to call with the proper arguments, basically, and then good to go.
Yes, exactly. So from this UI, you don't need to know anything, right? I just clicked, and then it called the library. Transformed the Bitcoin transaction into, and as you saw in the background, it also updated the UI here, and I think I bought 2 stacks.
I think your UI is so honestly so traditional in the terms of an order book that you've almost demystified it to the point where people can't even appreciate what's going on because you're going from L1 to L2 and you're just it's just an order book. I mean, I know that's the goal, but it's not doing it justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yes, so you can see that I've received my 2 stacks over here. I do have to say there's like a 10 bips amount here. And this is the Bitcoin transaction earlier. I don't know why Leather is putting it afterwards, but this is prior to this transaction. So I just sent the Bitcoin and I received the stacks, and it disappeared from here and it appeared inside of the trade history over here. But essentially the second step where you unlock the stacks, anybody can do it. And that's why it makes sense for an operator to do it rather than the user.
Sorry to interrupt there, but can we also now view those transactions now on the mempool and on the Hero Explorer, or
yeah, we could see them right all along. So now it's anchored several. So you see, this is the amount of Bitcoin I sent to the Bitcoin receiver. I did pay 1,000 sats, so it's actually 2,454 that shows in my wallet. That's the up return that encodes that data that is going to allow it to be trustless when you unlock the stacks. And I think here in the Hero Explorer, I'm recording the transaction that reserves the swap. But it is possible to find the transaction that is going to unlock the stacks asset, which is this one.
Yeah, you gotta love how this is just leveraging the op return too.
Yeah.
It's like nice, like very, very elegant. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So that's all I've got essentially. So you can create bids and asks, and then anyone can take it. They have an amount of time to send you Bitcoin, and from that Bitcoin transaction, they can unlock the stacks asset, which remains completely trustless. And this will be one Bitcoin block and one stacks block very, very soon. And again, you can imagine it as a bridge. Like, you don't need all of this stuff if there's only one operator.
So kind of to put it all back into perspective, users are basically able to swap between, their layer 1 Bitcoin to the layer 2 stacks token in a trustless, permissionless manner that doesn't have any slippage, and you essentially don't need to know the buyer ahead of time. Basically, you can just plug it in there and then somebody can fill the order.
Yep, and it works. So even though this is in beta, this is very safe and it works. Catamaran swap is limited to a smaller amount, and I'm sure he'll improve it and make it available for larger amounts. So these beta apps are in functional work state, and I'm sure like iteration of this will come and make it even easier for people to bridge.
Well, once you are most definitely ready or closer to the commercial launch, so to speak, where you were ready, you're comfortable for people to start using it more at the commercial, as a commercial product or whatnot, let me know so we can get it listed in BoostX featured stacks apps too, so that way people can have easy way to discover it too, because we're trying to leverage all these tools together and streamline it so the users can get onboarded and then get straight into the mix of everything and start discovering what everybody's been working on. So, I want to see everybody succeed here. And this is some legendary shit here, so it most definitely deserves it.
Absolutely. I'll definitely reach out to you when I have something retail, like a retail product with an operator.
Nice. Yeah. Also, on that same note, like I've been thinking about updating the stacks, the featured stacks dApps module on BoostX to include listings of test, net specific or apps that are looking to have testing or testers, so we can kind of get testers involved easier, and also kind of try and incentivize and help reward people for testing. There needs to be that flywheel, so that way the development cycle of things can, have a constant iteration, essentially. It's hard to find testers, I know. Trust me, I've experienced that firsthand.
We're working on, so one of the things Trip's working on too is to help us create some maybe incentivization for testing, specifically testnet testing. Not so much mainnet data test.
Yeah, that's what we in the stacks featured dApps module in BoostX, I'm gonna revamp that modal that pops up to where it's not just mainnet apps. It's also apps that are on testnet that are looking for testers and ways to kind of coordinate some of that to help.
I don't know what he
streamline them.
wants me to share and what he doesn't want me to share, but Trip's working on something specific with the DeOrganized platform and how to coordinate to be able to just ways to incentivize testers and reward them for early testing and
This is part of the onboarding process. When we're onboarding people, we should almost survey them and say, like, what are you interested in? Are you interested in these things? You want to be a tester? So that way we know where to kind of steer them based on their interests. That would be
that was one of the things we were talking about at the SIP call 2 weeks ago, was that we need a funnel we need a couple of different funnels. We need just people that are onboarding into our ecosystem that are like just new to crypto. People that are from crypto and new to stacks. And then we need like onboarding for devs, pointing them where to go. And one of the new people that are in crypto but maybe new to stacks, those people could very much be potential testers if they've been testnetting on, Ethereum or other chains. Hey, Pepe Toshi is in the house.
Hey, Pepe Toshi. Hey, sorry, buddy. I accidentally had an error when I put your Pepe coin in BoostX. I'm an idiot. I had a typo in there. My bad, dude. It's kind of.
You're good.
It's coming this week, I promise.
Don't worry. Honestly, no. I've been so fucking busy. I've been going back and forth with Apple all week trying to get our fucking app approved. So I've been honestly just dealing with other shit, and I just want to come chill with you guys, take my mind off it, just hang out with the boys. It's what I needed right now. And we got fucking Ralph in the house. We got everyone I need right here. It's perfect.
Let's go.
Don't worry about me. I'm where I need to be.
What's the app you're gonna put? What are you dealing with Apple? And what's the app? You got any alpha for us or?
I mean, it's no crypto alpha, but if you're trying to meet your woman, that's what we're going for. So we got it's like an AI dating app. So it basically like pulls in all of your data from as many sources as possible, like Apple Photos, Health, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all this stuff, and basically figures out who you are as a person, what kind of personality you have, where you rank on different like personality matrices and sociological studies and psychology studies, ranks you across like lifestyle, physical compatibility, sexual compatibility, and then sets you up with a bot that basically guides you through the whole process. So you can just ask it for basically anything you want. You can say, find me a girl who's Armenian, who loves to go clubbing, who is going to be down to gamble on some degenerate meme coins with me. And it'll go to its best to find that. And it's got Twitter integration too. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But it's a lot of work, honestly. It's stressful. So it's nice to take some of that.
So what you're saying is you're doing some weird science over there. Please let me get that.
Wait, sorry, say that again. Sorry, I'm on Starlink out in the woods.
So what you're saying is you're doing some weird science over there?
We're doing some real fucking
science. You might not be old enough. Peace is probably old enough to get that. How old are you? You're probably not old enough to get that reference.
I'm 29, so probably not.
No, not unless he caught it like an afternoon, like a rerun movie on a Saturday somehow.
Yeah. So let me clue him in here, because he's saying he's basically building virtual girlfriends for degens. It sounds like.
I mean, the thing is, it's real girlfriends is the thing. So you're actually meeting real people. It's meant to like basically figure out who you are and then match you with the perfect person on you. So it's more like the Black Mirror episode where they the AI finds you your perfect person.
Gotcha. Okay, I totally misunderstood you then. My bad. Because I heard AI powered girlfriends, and I immediately thought weird science. Was like,
I mean, that's what ChatGPT is to me at this point, because I'm fucking spending 90% of my day with ChatGPT just building this shit, and I'm like, dude, I might have just gotten Sim trapped. Thank you.
That's a really good idea. So you're
something I'm thinking about
quantifying people's compatibility via AI, basically. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so we've got like 1,200 traits that are real-time scored by agents across literally like 1 billion data points that you might have across everything the internet knows about you. And then we figure out, okay, who are you and who are you going to be compatible with? And then we learn along each step of the way. So as you say, like this girl, she was a little too clingy. She wanted too much money. She was, not quite my physical type. Then it'll learn and it'll just iterate over and over again until it finds what you want. So it just kind of learns, which is pretty cool.
Nice. That's actually super cool, man. You're going to help a lot of people out, I think, because a lot of people do need to find healthy, happy relationships, and that starts with basically compatibility. So, if it's based on consent, let's go. That's what matters, right? That's what Bitcoin's all about. That's what, you're doing. You're bringing the proof of, I don't want to call it work, but you know what I'm saying? Proof.
Yeah, no, it is. It's all about love. It's all about love and community.
But over time, you're gonna get more and more, like your data is gonna grow, and your network is actually gonna become more intelligent based on the outcomes of the app. So it's just gonna get better and better at figuring out what goes with what is compatible, what's not. Save us all a lot of time.
Right, yep, and plan the perfect thing to do. Like, you don't got to think about, okay, what should I go take this girl out for? Like, it's going to plan the whole date out, it'll schedule it, it'll do all the legwork, it'll help you maintain it once you do have one. So it's like, okay, now I've got...
You just got to remember old Peace, Love Music and Friends. When you,
Oh, I can't forget you guys. No way. I'm going to have you, each and every one of you, you got to have wifed up and happy and pumping your meme coin bags. That's the goal. You got to get you rich and wifed up. That's those are the two goals with you.
I'm wifed up.
You're halfway there. You're way ahead of the game, really.
And I'm rich in spirit, actually. So I'm already. But I still like to hang out with you. So,
I'll be there.
All right then.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that I put the disclaimer out there too. Already taken. So no hunting for a new wife here, just in case.
Okay, but I've been
want to
with
make sure
girls
that's
for a
out there.
long time before, and honestly, the maintenance is the hardest part. It's like, what am I getting her for our anniversary? Where am I going to take her out? What is the artist she's been listening to that I haven't really noticed? Where I gotta find this niche concert and notice that he's in town on this date and buy the tickets and take her out to her favorite dinner. And so I want to help people maintain it too.
So it's going to make guys the smoothest guy ever. Every guy will be just super smooth. That's really what it's going to do.
Hopefully, women will just be happy finally. We'll just finally get,
now you're chasing. Now you're chasing
the. That's just so
that's impossible. That's just impossible. But I appreciate you trying.
I commend you for your effort, sir, and I will most definitely support you in such effort. But I also know you are biting off a big ask for a happy wife.
We're gonna do our best.
That's all we can do. That is wise words. We are gonna do our best. But I have a wife.
We repopulate the earth just a little bit,
I love women so much, but they are never. You can't make them happy.
No, but you can always do a little bit better job. That's for sure. You can always find that.
You can handle your business enough to make yourself happy with the outcomes. That's really what you can do. You make them happy. You make them appreciate you enough to get, a decent
women are
interaction with them.
Women very, very much appreciate proof of work. Let's just put it that way.
There you go. Just make the proof of work a little easier. Simplify it. I'm not a man who likes the details. I'll put in the work, but just don't leave me with the details. That's
part of it's the stress of choices. There's so
right. That is what it is. Too much.
So let the AI tell you, break it down for you. Although she'll be
think of it Think of it like your best friend is also best friends with her, and you just get to go talk to him, and you're like, "What's she into these days? What band is she into? What's something she's been eyeing?" You know, that's kind of the idea. It's like, and I feel like we used to have that. Like, it used to be that like everyone's friends groups intersected, and you had all these extra touch points, and there was a lot more of that. I feel like we don't have that. Like, people don't have that best friend they can lean on for advice, who gives them good advice, who will like point them in the right direction. So hopefully it'll be that for people. That's kind
That's
of
a good
cool.
observation.
Yeah, it is a good observation.
It's a sad one, honestly.
It's very on point though, because the social, side of things, basically the modern life has most definitely kind of had some sacrifices made along the way in terms of, we'll just call it interpersonal relationships or whatever. And so, if you can help kind of smooth some of those edges over because it's all about data at the end of the day, right? Because people have their thoughts, their feelings, their wants, their needs, and they need to have those respected and heard and reciprocated. And so if you can get the data that helps you fill those gaps, this is huge.
Yeah, I feel like men and women just kind of like need a translator at this point. And I think that's kind of like the social media era where everyone's in these like crazy subcultures, and we're in our own little meme community, which has its own culture and its own values. And it's like, people just don't know how to like talk to each other anymore. They're not sure what the expectations are. They're not sure what the standards are. And they just kind of need like a translator. So hopefully it's that, I guess.
That's great.
Anything that brings people together to have good experiences with each other is an excellent development.
That's it. That's all we need to do. And that's honestly, like, I've learned a lot from like starting Meme Coin, being a part of Meme Coin communities. Like, it's so cool to just see people come together organically like that and find the interests that they overlap on and find people that they like. And it's like, why can't I do that? Why is it so hard to do that everywhere else?
I have to shout out Bitcoin Pepe. Is just an amazing meme token, meme community on Stacks. And I have to, partly because, well, it's true, and I believe it. That's why I'm rocking the Nobi famous original B Pepe on X right now on my PFP. But also because Rafa has been blowing up the private chat, throwing out the "Let's go B Pepe, let's go!" And actually, B Pepe is one of the 5 noble sponsors for April Find to Earn rounds. I can't wait to have your guys' first show on Thursday.
Me too. Honestly, I've been looking forward to that all week. It's been like one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, you just do something with love. People with love come back at
Thursday?
you. Rafa's come with so much fucking love. And, that's how you build something cool, something that matters. And I like literally this week, like every time I've been fucking stressed. Every time Apple sends me a rejection, I'm like, fuck this. I put on Nobody Famous's fucking We Got the Juice song. And I'm like, I just fucking did some shit and this came out of it. Like, I gotta just keep doing shit. That's all you gotta do. Like, it's that simple. That's it. You never know what'll come of it.
We are
You're doing the dance with the app platform, huh? Oh man, I feel your pain.
Yeah, no, it's not my first time. My last app, I literally had to hit like a C-level Apple executive to get it through. I had to like work every connection I had, take this guy out to dinner. Like, it's bullshit. It's dumb. You realize it's all half of it's luck of the draw, the other half is who you know. Yeah.
Oh my god. He's like, I'm getting a free steak out of this before I fucking list your app. What a fucking what the fuck? Man, I'm doing
that's
it all
how
wrong.
the game works.
Stack stabs, I guess. I could be getting free steaks.
No, that's why everything sucks. Honestly, it's just the game. But I think this AI shit will equalize it.
Yeah, that's why I'm being the change with BoostX. I'm not doing none of the fees to list. We're just, I'm gonna do a little bit of, make sure it's not just complete garbage. Make sure it's got some solid, fundamentals there in terms of functionality and following some basic standards, and then good to go.
That's exactly what you do. Just push it out there that people want. Do it as effectively as you can, as cheaply as you can. That's what we're doing with this. It costs a fuckload of money. I just signed up for Tinder. It's $40 a month, and I didn't get a single match, and I spent 5 hours on it. And I was like, bro, why can't we do this for free? Facebook can do shit for free. Someone can do this for free. Facebook can show me the ad for the thing I want most in the world the second after I think about it. Second before I think about it. We can do this shit. So just
they're planting
just build cool shit.
Yeah, so
yeah, they are. It's crazy.
On Thursday though, this is when the morning show is gonna do the Pepe Find to Earn. Is that what you guys said, right? Thursday.
Yep, that's us.
All right, cool, nice. Make sure everybody should tune in. I'll try and push the update because like basically I've got a couple changes I'm pushing, and your fix for yours token on BoostX to get that fix is in there, and I'm just gonna push that rather than because like I was trying to get the NFT transfers and the NFT tabs on profile pages in the same push, but I'll do NFT transfers plus these minor fixes, including your fix. I'll push those first, and then I'll do the NFT tabs in a second push, just so we can get it out there sooner.
Let's
Hell
go.
yeah, you are the man. You are the man.
Worst case scenario, not to kill yourself, anybody, but we'll get them distributed one way or another until.
Oh yeah.
Like but it's definitely way more fun distributing these funds via BoostX. By the way, like it just is more fun sending transactions by pushing an icon on X and initiating a transfer. It's really cool.
Yeah, and we'll also, since we'll be, pushing this along with the NFT transfer, we can also start raining out some NFTs. So
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So is it any NFT, like basically, or anything that's in my wallet will show up?
Yep.
That's
now
great.
the image rendering does depend on Hero's cached images. So if you're like not following basically specific standards, like essentially if you're like kind of deployed on kind of a one-off scenario or something, you didn't really use gamma, or you're not following the standards that are kind of now followed, it might have issues rendering your image in the form, but by and large, everything's rendering fine. There's, if there is some sort of issue with your particular NFT collection, if you're like an OG NFT collection, kind of like Disruptors are, which, we've had to kind of create a little bit of a caveat handler for OG Disruptor rendering in the form because we were pre that standard basically. So it is what it is. You got to kind of do the dance and make the accommodations when people request them. So if people got an NFT collection they want to, that's for some reason maybe having issues rendering in that form, let me know. We can try and figure something out. We'll have to take it on a kind of a case-by-case basis depending on the collection in question at that point. But by and large, everything that's following the latest standards will be good to go on a forward-going basis. So, fun stuff there. We can start getting that proof of participation in these games. We can, even if they did, maybe they, especially once the airdrops are done, that's going to make it a lot more convenient. But, the raining out the NFTs to not just winners, but also, frequent flyers, so to speak, frequent participants, make sure they get a little love too.
Yeah, Rafa just said BoostX is a growth hacking strategy into a Web3 social app. Don't lie. And I can't disagree with him because it really is it's a really just a crazy unlock for making our engagement stuff hit on a different level than what we could do before.
Yeah, it's most definitely different than all the other Web3 attempts to integrate with X because they're all leveraging like an account basically that acts as a bot that kind of leans on, a little bit of potential for getting nerfed with the ban stick, so to speak. But this is all in an extension that lives in your browser, so it's all, client side, so to speak. And, the UX is just funner. And those, who wants to type out a message necessarily to send some tokens? Sometimes you just want to click, So
yeah.
That makes a difference.
I'm just thinking that, BoostX is a great application for our synergy with FineTurn, with DeOrganized Media, how we onboard users. But it's like, B2B, and we need more like use cases for users, because like for mainstream users, they don't know yet why they need to use BoostX, and have some ideas.
Yeah, and there is most definitely a little bit of work that can be done there in terms of incentives for more participation from just not necessarily business to business type of participation like on the Find to Earn, but average users boosting each other for sure. And I most definitely want to explore more options with Find to Earn and Skullcoin with that respect.
Yeah, with game we can, for example, have this thing. Since we have NFTs with 2 layers of information, we could ask players to send these NFTs to each other. Maybe they will have some important information to find the treasures. We will solve it. If you will have a talk, I will think about it. Because
so you're saying like using NFTs as clues for the Find to Earn?
Yeah. Because I believe you didn't play it our first game. We planned to launch our second game in April with 10,000 NFTs with cheap price. So when we played our first game in December, there was very active chats in Discord and on X. Because we have like Sigma chat on X. I don't know if you're there. I will add you. So the idea that people exchange information so much, because like Skullcoin on chain game is a game with incomplete information. Your NFTs has 2 layers of information, and since they exchange this info, maybe they wanna like exchange the NFTs. And if they wanna exchange the NFTs, they have to go to the Gamma marketplace. But the chat exists on X platform, so it means it's more useful and easy for them just to send them through BoostX while chatting in on X. I will show you this idea later. Okay.
No, I love it. Yeah, that's a great unlock for streamlining the process for people. Like it's actually freaking nuts how much BoostX has like in terms of opportunities that are still like nobody's even thought of yet. So like every day we're thinking about, oh man, if we did this, then we could do this, and then we could do that. It's like this chain of unlocks basically that's happening. It's awesome to be a part of. I mean, me obviously being behind it in terms of development is, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm just as surprised as everybody else. So let's go.
Let's go. No, it's sick, honestly. What you guys built is awesome. And like I could see for like even my app I'm building, like we're gonna have these bots like trawling across social media, like trying to hook people up. Like we could totally add a paid feature like supported by Boost that like integrates directly with social platforms. So I think where the eyeballs are and connecting payments to where the eyeballs are is going to become like increasingly important. And I think a lot more people are going to take advantage of that. So you guys are in the right place. You're doing sick shit. So good job.
Yeah,
we're all building together, and all our interests are coalescing. It's legendary shit.
Also, CryptoDude, you can think about whitelists. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe we can make somehow whitelist, because for now I create whitelists just manually. I add people and add them to posts, and I just click on only mention people can participate in the game. But maybe we can do somehow like this whitelist, since like you have these usernames and people have to install this extension.
So what if there was a way that you could make it, because people join the whitelist by responding to a post on X, or sometimes other ways too, like they'll notify us on a, but is there a way to make it so that BoostX can tell, like we can set it so that certain users have access to make a post at BoostX or at a certain @ handle that'll allow it to track?
Yeah,
username response on responses or something?
Yes, something like
So
this.
you're
would be
you're basically
interesting.
trying to automate the whitelisting procurement, right?
Yeah, because like for now it's okay. I can do it manually day by day because we have like 50 people, and this is a maximum for one game for whitelist. But if we grow and if we make this process more automatically, it will be very cool.
Yeah, that's a matter of just looking at the logistics of kind of the flow. We can most definitely talk about that in more detail, though. I'm sure we can figure something out because I'm doing something similar. It's not probably exactly the same, but it's using boosts to track. Well, basically, we're basically going to launch what's called a Cryptonaut collection. Me and GP and some others are going to launch this Cryptonaut collection, and the people that are the first to send a boost of a specific token, for example, Pepe token, when it comes out, the first person to send a Pepe token is going to basically be considered the Cryptonaut of Pepe token on via BoostX. And so they're going to basically wind up on a, being put on a list for, it's not really a whitelist, it's more like a reserved NFT, but it's the same principle.
I understand, but I just wanted to tell any founder, but I'm as a founder have no experience, but it's just my vision. I can tell to any person that users have to see any incentive to install your extension, because like the problem nowadays, we don't have mainstream users, we don't have like Web2 users coming to crypto.
Yeah.
So what we can give them? We can give them joy and money. So, for example, joy and money comes from Bitcoin Pepe. This is amazing meme coin culture and community. And we are doing game. We give them opportunity to earn money, from thin air by using their creativity in fair competition, without like bots and AI participation. And this is my vision, because like organic growth and mainstream users, normies, that's the most hard, like difficult users to onboard.
Yeah, so in terms of incentivizing users to onboard, it's most definitely kind of one of those scenarios where it depends on exactly what you're trying to onboard them to. Specifically, if you're talking about into the Stacks ecosystem, there's an approach as a user, there's an approach as a developer. If you're talking about just onboarding them into using like BoostX, there's a specific approach. If you're talking about onboarding them to use, the find to earn with Skullcoin, there's another approach. These approaches do have overlap for sure, because they have a lot of interdependencies, a lot of dependent parts, right? But they also have their own dependencies that are kind of standalone or separate potentially. And, discussing those, where they overlap and figuring out the logistics to see how they can be streamlined is most definitely what these conversations are all about. In terms of like, in general, incentivizing more participation from users to boost in general, well, two things. Right now we're having users engage with tweets, right? And then how they're engaging is dependent on the context. So like with the find to earn, they're just replying with the winning location that they hope, right? They hope that they got the winning location, they're replying with that Google Map location, right? And then you're cross-referencing it. So that is, we'll just say more in a linear sense, because you're posting your find to earn, and then there's the responses from the users, and then you're gauging them and saying you're declaring the winner, right? You're managing the game. And in terms of like getting users to use BoostX, the user in BoostX in that scenario is more the platform of Skullcoin and the find to earn, right? And so if we could, obviously you're trying to get them to grow your game too, right? So if you could incentivize them to boost your post that is about the game, the find to earn itself, if you could incentivize them to boost your post and also retweet it in the process, or quote tweet it in the process to get it further out there, then they are creating a little skin in the game, right? And then you have now a metric that kind of helps you separate the spammers and and whatnot from the people that are more interested for the community, right? Because they're willing to put a little skin in the game. And then to that end, you then can obviously you'll have more users at that point, but there's like a kind of like a core incentive to how do you get those users to boost your post that you're trying to use to grow your operations or grow your app, grow your in this instance the find to earn game audience. That we're trying to basically introduce, and we're still waiting on the crypto cash audits, but basically we're introducing crypto cash mining into that process so users can have an incentive to basically do boosting themselves as users, so that way that they basically will enter into a mining competition with other users that are also boosting at that time. And depending on how many people are mining that particular block, that's the proof of transfer light mining process. And then they people might ask, why would they want to get that crypto cash? Because you can then stack that crypto cash and earn yield in the form of STX. So basically you as a booster would have an incentive to boost more because you would have a chance to mine crypto cash. Then you could subsequently stack that crypto cash and then earn STX from subsequent boosters that are happening elsewhere. So people that are it's like a deep integration. I don't want to call it a deep integration. It's like a deeper flywheel, basically, into the boost process. So I think that will help incentivize growth for, I know this is a little off topic of what you were talking about for whitelisting, but I think it'll help incentivize the growth for the participation in the events that you're like the find earn events and like, the meme contests that I do, all the different, ways that we're trying to grow our communities or grow our audiences. This is a way to help them get involved, because you got to remember we're also going to have quote tweet split tipping. So when they do that boost and they quote tweet it, if they get any
sorry, I believe Peace wanna wrap it up because we are very very active, but we can just wrap it up here if you wanna, Peace Love.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap it up, guys.
Thank you so much.
It's an hour. Number one, I wasn't even planning on doing the show tonight.
Yeah,
but
2 hours. Holy cow.
Yeah, we got 2 hours in, and thank you guys so much for joining. I could actually talk with you guys all night long. It's just I can't because I gotta get up and do the news in the morning. So, but
yeah, sorry to go on a rant there, but I was just trying to get people to realize that the incentive for boosting is not just from a business point of view, like boosters should boost if they're a business trying to get their app out. There's also going to be incentives for users to boost.
Yeah, my vision is just very simple. People want money and joy, that's all, and they become a part of community if we create some activity based on fair competition. That's all. That's how it works.
Bingo.
Fair competition is everything. That's honestly, I'm learning that so much.
Yeah, people want meaningful experiences too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but honestly, how can you be like any kind of in the pulse of what's going on in this ecosystem with so many cool people that are on this, this show tonight, and so many of our friends that have already dropped off that are like just amazing. Chad's building shit in our space. That's awesome. Rolf is working on like 5 projects, and Crypto Dude's working on a bunch of projects, and Mark's got a bunch of things going on, like some really awesome stuff going on in multiple fronts, and Zenatron's doing so many cool things, and I get to just report on all of it. I'm actually just using all of you guys and all the cool stuff that you're building as something for me to actually put out there and be like, look at all this cool stuff, guys. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that, because really, you guys are just amazing people to be observing, and I really appreciate being a part of it. All these people that tune in to listen to us chat about these things. I think we're very fortunate men here hanging out. I really do. So thank you guys all for joining us tonight. I am Peace Love Music. Yeah, I'm just glad it came together like this. The night show has a different vibe. You know, we just come in differently. It's not like, I know GP does the news and everything, but it doesn't even need it. It really doesn't. It really is just the vibe of this is the hangout, you guys coming on, just talking about whatever. And a lot of it ends up revolving around what we're building or what you're all building, because you're all builders. So it just
don't sell yourself short though, Peace, though, because we'd all be going schizo. I'm out in the woods for 30 days working 16 hours a day. If I don't have someone like you to talk about it with, we're all going crazy. So we need this.
I'm providing a need to the ecosystem as well, and I appreciate the recognition there too. We are all building stuff here. Yeah, we really are. And I love listening to you guys and talking to you guys about what it is and giving you my feedback and opinions too. You know, I feel like I'm a part of all of these projects too. So
you are. That's why.
I really appreciate the opportunity to do that too. And I mean, I think that's what's so great about our space though, is that we have all of these people are really kind of working on all of the projects.
Yeah, we are playing non-zero sum game. It's a meaning of life.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And we're doing it consensually and permissionlessly. So
we're adulting.
Anyway, here I am, just politicking on the end of my show that I'm cutting short in the middle of people talking. So thank you guys so much. I'm tired. I'm rambling. I love you guys. I really appreciate being on this earth with you in this capacity at this time. And we'll catch each other all again soon. You all have a blessed night. I am Peace Love Music. We are DeOrganized Media, coming at you live on Bitcoin Live Decentralized Broadcasting every Monday through Friday. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening, most of the time both. And there's an audience for it, so we must be on to something. Have a great night.